Hey guys, welcome to the LazieLemon Creations podcast. My name is Lindsay, and I live in the heart of the New River Valley with my husband and our 2 children. You can find me on Instagram as LazieLemon Creations, and you can find me on Ravelry as LazieLemon. It'll also be linked below, just in case you need it. This is my podcast all about my crafting things, knitting, crochet, cross stitch, ceramic paintings, if those ever come up. Probably won't. And just anything that I'm up to crafting wise, and also my life. So that's what this is about. Also, I'm just going to go ahead, lead out with it, because otherwise I'll forget to mention it. I did cut off all my hair. Well, not all of it, but I got a major haircut. I was done. My birthday was at the beginning of January, and I decided that I wanted something different. And so for 29, I decided to just cut off most of my hair, and I really like it. I needed it to be healthy. So this is the change. This will continue to grow out. Of course, it's hair. That's all it is. It's hair. I'll probably style it up, style it down a lot. I'm a mom, so it'll be in a ponytail 90% of the time. So the fact that it's down was just to show you guys. So hope you feel special. We're going to start with finished objects because I wanted to show you guys what I have completed since the last podcast, and then we'll get into whips of what I have started since the last podcast or what has carried over and what I'm procrastinating with, or it's crochet, so it's not procrastinating, but I'm procrastinating with this project, and you'll get to see that later. So to start off with, for my finished objects, I believe these were on the needle the last time I filmed. And there we go. I have the other one right here. I just don't want to put it on the sock blocker. I mean, it looks the same as this one. I do have a finished Instagram photo and Ravelry photo. So if you look at either of those, you can find both socks together and how pretty they look. But this was my Gothic Kitty in the knit. It is Monday night. My kids are finally asleep. I have talked all day long, so it's going to be a lot. Mumble, jumble, word vomit. We're going to catch it all. I'm going to edit it all. We'll deal with it. But let's go. This pair of socks is Knit Picks Felici in the colorway Gothic Kitty. It's just a vanilla sock. Nothing special about it. Heel flap and gusset for the heel. 20 row cuff. I typically do a 20 row leg. I don't really like very long socks. And then my toe. My toe and my heel are in the colorway Ash in Knit Picks Stroll. And I use Chalgu needles, 2.5 millimeter. Yeah, I use a 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter Chalgu needles. And I do those magic loop. And this is what I finished. It was a whip last week. Whoa. It was a whip last episode, and it is now a finished object. And so I have that done. I'm very happy. And then my next finished object wasn't even a whip last episode. I got into a hyper fixation mode on these socks. Hold on, I'm trying to adjust it. The toe twists on these blockers, and it bugs me and gives me the heebie-jeebies when I look at it. So anyway, here we go. Whoa. I'll figure this out eventually. This you didn't even see last time, but it is also a fully finished pair of socks that I did really fast. I want to say I casted these on a Monday and I had them finished on a Saturday. I worked through these really hard. I know I did whichever sock was first in 2 days. When I sat down to do it, I ignored all the laundry and I ignored all the vacuuming for the day, and I just powered through these socks. I was hyper fixated on them. Yay, ADHD, and I just went for it. So this is Knit Picks Felici in the colorway Secret Garden. Again, 20 row cuff. This is not a 20 row leg. It's a little bit longer. I want to say it's a 40 row leg. I'm not going to count. And the heel is actually an afterthought heel. It's not my heel flap and gusset that I do. It's an afterthought heel, and then my toe. And the heel, toe, and cuff, which I don't know why we say it that way, but the order is backwards. It should be like cuff, toe, cuff, heel, and toe, or toe, cuff, and heel. Anyway, we say it backwards. We say it wrong. You know what I mean. The heel, toe, and cuff, got it, are, again, in Knit Pick Stroll in the colorway Ash. So I did this sock as a test measurement for one of my whips that you'll see upcoming in just a minute, because I'm doing something fun with an Advent set of yarn that I got that's non-traditional for Advent yarn, and I needed to measure how much I could get in a sock. I wanted to see if I could get an entire pair of socks with just 50 grams of Knit Picks Felici, and I was able to do so. And I wanted to see how much of a leg I could actually do and not waste that much yarn. I'll explain more later, and it'll make more sense of why I also did an afterthought heel, because I needed to make the sock with as much yarn as possible before actually putting the heel in. And I didn't want to do a heel flap and gusset and then come up with too short on my leg, on my foot, or anything like that. So those were my FOs. Both of those were ChiaoGoo needles. Magic Loop, like always, they're my go-to. They're my favorite, and I love them. And all of my finished objects count, I want to say, for January. I want to say I was actually able to get both of those socks done for January. And if you give me a second, I actually have my book here. They did, yeah. We'll go over January stats in a little bit. So I finished everything in January, so I'm very excited about that. And then let's get into what else I finished, which was nothing. Okay, good to know. I've got my show notes right here. That's why I keep looking down and referencing them, just to make sure that I have everything done that I need to have done. So, now we're going to get into whips. And my first whip up is my crochet blanket that I'm making for my best friend. It's the Halloween Black Cats, 3 Black Cats, Halloween Black Cats by the Magic Yarn Pixels. Again, I told you it's a Monday. And it's in some yarn that was given to me from Hobby Lobby, the Soft Secret in violet and black. And I just want to show you that, oops, got a fuzzy on here. I get to move my stitch marker now because I get to finally show you guys how far I've gone. I've held off on this, and it's not very far. It's a crochet blanket. So last time I was right there where the Arkansas stitch marker is. And it's pink and it's glittery and it's so cute. But that's where I was last week, last episode. I'm going to say that. You know what I mean. I'm sorry. That's where I was on my last episode. Was just in the purple. I hadn't even started the black yet. And now I have officially started the black. And I have added to it. And so actually, this will be the bottom. So, this is what it's looking like so far. I'm so excited. It's really pretty, really soft, because it's acrylic. It's acrylic. And I enjoy it. It is in the same project bag from last time, from MLD Threads off of Etsy. I will have that shop linked below. And to crochet that, I just use a Susan Bates size H 8mm. Woohoo! There we go. Yeah, size H, 5mm, US 8. Words are hard to do. But anyway, I love this bag. Very soft, very just squishable, and I can just put the project wherever I need to. Absolutely love it. Okay, my next project is in my donut bag. God, I love this bag so much. It's so bright, so happy. It makes me smile every time I see it. It's got the snaps on the inside. It has the little key ring, and it has a strap. Sorry, my brain just went really bad. I'm wearing a shirt that says whip it out. So my first thought when I said it has a strap was strap on. Oops. But it was a funny joke. It is what it is. Anyway, this bag is from Ginger Snap Fibers. She is also on Instagram and Etsy. So I will have her linked below as well. Her bags sell out very quickly. When you see that she's having an update, go immediately to her shop and just camp, because otherwise you might not get a bag. What I am making this time, again, Knit Picks Felici. Here's a label, is Knit Picks Felici. Of course it's fingering weight. This is Desert Rose, and I'm actually doing a Musselburgh. I am doing a Knit Picks Felici Musselburgh. It is self-striping. Look at those colors. Oh, I love it. So it has 2 shades of pink, gold, and like 2 shades of purple and a shade of like bluey purple. In person, it's more blue. On the camera, it came up very purple. But this is going to be a Musselburgh. It's actually going to be from one of my best friend's kids. And I'm very excited with how it's going. I do need to make up pattern notes for how I get the stripes to line up, because I do not start my Musselburgh, however you want to say the name, with the top of the hat like you're supposed to. If you have that pattern, you understand what I mean. There's a cast on method, and it's kind of tricky depending on which one you use. And then you do your increases as the pattern says. Then you get to the part of the pattern that is most of your knitting. And then you do your decreases as the pattern says. I'm trying not to give too much away. It is a paid for pattern. And then you have your hat. So I do a method where I actually start, not in the middle, but I start with my Knit Picks Felici yarn. I do a color repeat so I know my color sequence. And then I immediately decrease. So I only have to do decreases, but I do them twice. And it's really interesting. So if you've purchased the pattern and you're interested in how I do my Musselburgh, send me a message on Instagram, LazieLemon Creations, and I can tell you what I do. I still really love her pattern. The size, inclusiveness, the fitability, the way it works for everyone. There we go. We're gonna roll with it today. It's perfect. Ysolda Teague did an amazing job with that pattern. She will also be linked below with that pattern. She has many more hats. It's not just the Musselburgh, but I believe it's the one she's most known for. So if you're interested in a really good hat for no matter the age, the person, the gender, their interest, it doesn't matter. This hat is to die for. It's wonderful. It's great. I recommend it. But that's one of my whips. Oops. Sorry, I had my other whip fall into the floor. And you'll understand why it was able to fall into the floor and not in a project bag in just a minute. I don't have a project bag for it. I just showed you. So here, let's pull it out. It fell into the floor, so I apologize. We're tangled. This is my crochet waffle stitch blanket. Look at this. Look at this waffle pattern. Okay, like folded in half. It's gonna be big. Like, it's gonna be a good blanket. So I think it's the best waffle color in the world. That stitch definition, just those little crevices. Like, the name couldn't be any more perfect. And it's not in a project bag because I had just ran out of the little bits I had to test the pattern to start with. And so I need to add another skein. So I had taken it out to add another skein, and I don't know where I put the project bag. So it doesn't have one right now. So it just sits on my couch with my size H hook. I have like 15 of the Susan Bates ones because I learned to crochet first, and I went a little trigger happy and decided I needed all the hooks all at the same time. So I do that. I also have used, oh, it's not knit picks, Furls crochet hooks. I've used those as well. Really like them. They're absolutely wonderful. But this yarn, I would have to look at the label, but I want to say that it's Big Twist in their color. The color is actually mustard, but it just makes such a good waffle color. So I'm calling it waffle, but I think it's mustard. And that's Big Twist. I think I got it at Joann's. So I have more. I have 5 skeins of it. I'm going to see how tall that will make the blanket and go from there. It is 70 little cubes, 70 little waffle holes across. That's a very technical term, waffle holes. So I know when to stop for, I want it 70 across and 70 above. So we'll see how that works out. Then my last whip that I have on here, yeah, my last whip is a sock, and it's not traditionally put together like this. I'm actually in the middle of my heel flapping gusset. I know, I said that I was doing an afterthought heel for this sock. This is the one that I needed my Secret Garden socks for. This is the one that I'm using an Advent with. Anyway, I said I was going to do an afterthought heel, and then I did some math and figured out that I could probably do it with an afterthought heel. Heel flapping gusset. Words! Now I'm starting to get mad at myself, and nobody else but myself. I'm just starting to get mad. It's just, that would explain why it's 10:42 at night. But, okay, aside from that, this is what I have for my sock. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to get it to actually, there we go. Oh, that's great. My stitch markers, that's great. And I'm in the middle of a heel flapping gusset. Oh, those colors look so good. Okay, so what this is a sock. What this is what this sock is 20 row cuff. That's standard, 2x2 ribbing, Chow Goo needles, 1.5, 2.5 millimeter. And this is how I knew that I needed at least 30 for my leg. My yarn is held together with a little hair bow clip, courtesy of my 6-year-old daughter. I hope she doesn't mind. But the main color I have here is Gothic Smoke by Yarn Cafe Creations. This is a full 100 gram skein that's now a cake. The pretty color that's in my 20 gram ball was actually part of their Advent in 2021. Yarn Cafe Creations and Dragon Horde Yarn get together. They're a mother and daughter duo. They are a mother and daughter. They are how am I going to say this? They're not a duo because they have their own individual things. Yarn Cafe Creations is the mom. Dragon Horde Yarn is the daughter. Okay. Camera decided to stop recording because my memory card was full, so let's get back into that. Yarn Cafe Creations is the mom, Christy. Dragon Horde Yarns is the daughter, Tristan. They collaborated. That's the word I was looking for. And they do an advent every year at Christmas time, and for the Harry Potter series, and they did year 5 in 2021, and I decided to purchase it. I had never purchased something that big before. I was very excited, and I thought that was a great deal for the amount of yarn that I got. It was the first time I'd ever ordered minis, and then I realized I don't do projects with minis. So then I was like, what am I going to do with 24 20-gram minis that I have no idea for? I'm not a scrappy person. There are so many scrappy blankets out there, scrappy granny squares, scrappy mitered squares, just knit and purl if you want to. It doesn't matter. There are so many variations out there of scrappy projects, and they look awesome. And I'm so happy for the people that can actually do it. My mind does not click with that, and I'm like, can't have that many colors. Doesn't work, doesn't click, don't like it. It is what it is. It's not for me. Everybody has their own thing. Not for me. But anyway, sorry. I just picked one today just to try. This is my day's work. And I picked day 13 because it's February 13th. It's Monday. It's the day before Valentine's Day. And I have no idea when this is actually going to go up. Good luck. Hopefully tomorrow. If not, oh well. See you soon. And this was her old labels, which I don't know how she would do minis anymore because she now has these really cool like coffee filter label. Cozy labels. They're not coffee filters because it's not. It's the sleeve. Coffee sleeve. Ha. I'll get there. It's a coffee sleeve logo. Not paper logo anymore. But anyway, this colorway is called Ferenz Teaches Divination. And it's on the Biscotti sock weight, Biscotti sock yarn fingering weight. It's 85 superwash merino, 15% nylon, and it's 20 grams. But let's see if I can get that to focus. Woohoo! There we go. Very tiny. Amazing colors. I absolutely love it. It's gorgeous. It is the softest yarn. I love their yarn to pieces. But that's what I was doing with my Secret Garden socks. I was measuring out my yarn by grams to see how much I actually needed to do one sock. And as long as my math is correct, which I'm pretty good at math. 1 + 1 is 4. Got it. As long as I'm good with my math, I should actually be able to get one full sock with a 30-row leg, contrast heel flap and gusset, cuff, and toe, and then the rest of my foot in this with a 20-gram mini. I hope and pray. My math should be fine. I'm not that worried. And if that's the case, then I just got done talking about how scrappy projects aren't for me. I can't do the colors being crazy like that, but for some reason, having socks that don't match doesn't bother me. I know, I'm weird. It's okay. It's ADHD. Just let it be. For some reason, socks that don't match are okay with me. And so therefore, I'm going to have 24 socks that do not match except for the heels, toes, and cuffs. And they are just going to be my random socks that just get thrown together as they are. So it'll be 12 pairs, but it'll be 24 individual socks if I can get this worked out. So I'm very excited for this project. It is now resting in, I thought it was so appropriate that my Harry Potter socks are in my Harry Potter bag. Look at it. It's like 2 different fabric types. Well, they're not. They're both fabric, but like 2 different fabric prints, and I love it. This is also a Ginger Snap Fibers bag. It has a pocket on the inside that has Harry Potter written on it. Also has a little clasp, and it's a drawstring with a handle. Ooh, there's her label. It's on the outside. Hold on. See if I can look, there it is. So cute. With a little cookie. But my Harry Potter project is in my Harry Potter bag. And so anytime that this bag will be on the podcast, it will be holding a Harry Potter sock. I have 24 to work through. I started on 13 just because I just picked a number. There was no rhyme or reason to it. I just picked a number. And so that's what this is going to hold. I love it very much. All my projects are bringing me so much joy right now. And that's the biggest thing is if I don't want to work on something, okay, I started the waffle blanket because I didn't want to work on the cat blanket anymore because of how much I had to turn it. It's okay. It's okay. The waffle blankets for my house, I can work on it over years. The cat blanket I really do need to pick up on, but it's fine. I'll be all right. But everything I'm knitting on right now brings me so much joy. It makes me very happy. And I don't think that there's a reason that I shouldn't get to make what makes me happy. It's my knitting, it's my crochet, it's my hobby, and I can do with it what I want. And I don't have anybody that I have to meet any standards by or anything like that, even though being on Instagram and being on YouTube, we know that we have a community of major supporters, but also it's hard not to look up to like Kay and Natalie and Lisa and see everybody and go, man, I wish I made as much as them, or man, I wish I could knit as fast as them, or crochet as fast as them, or have the following that they have. But you just have to do what makes you happy and do it at your pace, because otherwise you're not being authentic, and nobody has time for fakeness. Not in today's world. Not anymore. We're done with that. So that's all my FOs. That's everything that's finished. And now we're just going to get into some life stuff. I mentioned earlier I was wearing a shirt that says Whip It Out. It's from the We Share Needles podcast. Yeah, they're down there. Maddie and Kristen, they're hilarious. I've actually binge watched their entire podcasts. A few months ago is when I started. I can't remember. And I watched all episodes. And I'm fully caught up until this past week's episode. So I get to watch that soon. And I'm very excited. I did the same thing with Lisa of 72 Stitches. And she has nearly 200 episodes. But last year, I did it. I did it in under a year. And I watched every single one of her episodes. Some days I watch like 2 a day, but most of the time I would just put it on as background noise, and I would do my laundry, my dishes, my knitting, and instead of watching TV, that's what I did. So I loved it. But We Share Needles, this is their merch. I also have another shirt that says, "Hi friends," and it's upstairs right now, so you'll probably see that on the podcast as well. But they have merch. If the link is still active, which I'm not sure, they didn't say anything about it only being a limited time. So if it's still active, I will include that down below, along with their YouTube channel as well, because if you don't already watch them, you definitely should. They are two lovely ladies who speak their mind about everything, as they should. As they should. Books, no change. I'm still reading the House of Night series. I actually haven't picked it up in like a week and a half. Nighttime has been very hectic here at life. Nighttime has been very hectic here at home for our life. My 3-year-old son, he's waking up in the middle of the night and he's constantly complaining that he's thirsty. And so he wants a drink, and he wants a drink, and he wants a drink, and he wants a drink. And he takes in so much liquid. He doesn't bathe the bed. But he takes in so much liquid that he then has to wake up and go pee twice throughout the night. And so it's like, I'm trying to figure out a way to limit his liquid consumption, but he's my second born, and if anybody out there has a second born, you know they're feral, and he can climb out of his bed. He will climb out of his bed, he will come downstairs, he knows how to open the fridge, and he knows how to reach the drinks, because we have the bottom of our fridge, the door, it's nothing for drinks, but nothing but drinks for my 6-year-old for her school. So he'll help himself. He has no problems helping himself to anything to drink. And if we're not careful, he'll grab soda. I have caught him with a Dr. Pepper can in his hands, chugging it, just like his father. The resemblance is very funny. But that's what we're working on. So sleep has been a little up and down. So I haven't been reading at night. All of that to say, I haven't been reading at night because once I go to bed, I'm ready for bed. I'm tired. I'm ready for bed. I just want to go to sleep because I know that I'm going to be up in a few hours helping him pee and everything else. So no reading change. Sorry. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was my grams that I used in January. I am participating. I don't know if anybody's actually hosting this. Actually, I think someone is. I will look it up and include it here on the screen. Look how pretty. No. I will include it either in the show notes or here on the screen about using up your grams in 2023. And that's my goal. I am only making 2 planned purchases this year, and that is when Felici comes out. Nothing else is coming in. Aw, snap. I just realized that's a total lie. I bought yarn for the waffle blanket. Sorry. Gotta add that to my book for February. But for the month of January, I knit 3 pairs of socks. And I had no yarn come in the month of January. I didn't buy a single skein, gram, hank, ball, nothing. No yarn came in the month of January. And out, I knit a total of 172 grams in the month of January. Which, if I knit about 170 grams every single month, I will complete over 2,023 grams, which is my goal for the year. So I'm very excited about that. And the only thing that carried over as a whip was my Musselburgh hat. There we go. My hat, it carried over. So it was my only whip that carried over. Everything else was finished. But I have it on here. Hold on, I don't know if it'll do that. Yep, my yarn in, my yarn out. And I got it all finished. So I was very excited for that. And then I have to add February into the book, as y'all saw. February is blank. There's nothing on there. Might as well go ahead and add the waffle yarn that I said that I wasn't gonna add, and then I did. It makes me really upset. Y'all ever do that? You ever sit there and make a goal for yourself and you're just like, I'm gonna stick to it. And then you don't, for whatever reason, whether it be drinking more water or going to bed on time or don't buy yarn or, I don't know, eat 7 French fries every single day. Whatever your goal is, I don't judge. And then you break it without realizing you broke it. And then you catch yourself later and you go, man, I was doing so good. Yeah, that was me just now. I was very excited to have not bought any yarn. And then I bought yarn. I did it, but it will be okay. It's not the end of the world. It's yarn and it makes me happy, and yeah, just added that in. Dang it. Man. Yeah, so along with all the word vomit tonight, the not getting anything spoken correctly, the amount of times I've messed up on the names of things and said things backwards, and heel flap and gusset, heel toe and cuff, don't buy yarn. Yeah, I just messed it all up tonight, but that's okay. That's life. It's not perfect. Neither am I. So, okay, before my camera tells me that it has too much memory again, I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye. I don't remember what I was saying prior, and I apologize if the editing is very jumbled because, again, I don't remember what I was literally just saying. But thank you again for watching my podcast, and I appreciate it, and I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week, and happy Valentine's Day if I get this up anytime remotely close to February 14th. Otherwise, Have a good rest of your February. Bye. Pause, Lindsay. Boop, 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 boop.